Hi there, and welcome to the Everyday Entrepreneur Podcast, where I, Kaitlin Fritz, help you reach your entrepreneurial potential. Together, we can build your dream social impact business so that you can leave a legacy beyond your 9-to-5. Hello, and welcome to this very first episode of Everyday Entrepreneurship. My name is Kaitlin Fritz, and I am here to help you grow and scale your social impact venture. Now, you might be listening and just have a seedling of an idea, or you might be a side hustler or business owner looking to propel their impact. And no matter where you are on this journey, I want to say welcome. Together on this podcast, we're going to be walking side by side, sharing the best tips, tricks, lessons, and mindsets so that no matter where you are, you can leave the impact. You can leave the legacy you want. We're the ones who are crazy enough to believe we can change the world. And I'm here to tell you that yes, you can do it. So as the first episode, I really wanted to set out what my definition of entrepreneurship is and some common barriers and ways you can overcome these barriers. First, I started a social impact business back in 2018, which was co-founded by an incredible co-founding team. And as an American who grew up in rural Pennsylvania, I thought entrepreneurship was the stuff that Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk did. Usually it was a white man trying to make a business, a technology, or a SaaS that had this worldwide domination. And that just wasn't me. I wanted to leave an impact more than I wanted a quick dividend. And that's when I realized entrepreneurship is more than just a word I frequently misspell. It is a mindset of active problem solving. It's taking those steps of seeing a problem, spotting an opportunity, and having the confidence and chutzpah to try to make a change. It's a spectrum of side hustlers, business owners, social impact entrepreneurs, and charity founders looking to leave the world a better place. And that is what embraced me to finally say that yes, I am an entrepreneur because I am a problem solver. And guess what? You're an entrepreneur too. But you might feel like there's some barriers to entrepreneurship. I know oftentimes we think about monetary barriers or geographic barriers, but I want to stop and set the foundations of those mindset barriers and how we can overcome them. Mindset is so critical when it comes to being an entrepreneur because problem solving is a process. It is not that glamorous overnight success you might see on LinkedIn or Medium. It is incremental change by learning, failing, researching, and learning again. It is a process that is not beautifully linear. It is squiggly and messy and complicated. But when you recognize that entrepreneurship is a process and not a step-by-step rubric, you can embrace that beautiful messiness of learning and growing. Now, when it comes to founders or future founders, I see 3 main barriers that come up in their journey, especially in the early days. The first is feeling underprepared. Guess what? Every entrepreneur starting out feels underprepared. You're talking to the girl who had no formal business background before starting an edtech company. Non-traditional entrepreneurs innovate from the outside in. And I'm telling you, you are more prepared than you think. Let's take a look at your professional background. What transferable skills like communication and leadership have you grown and can bring into your business? Or think about your academic or volunteer background. How have you solved problems through analysis or through hands-on learning? I've broken down entrepreneurship into various soft skills that you can leverage in your business development process. In fact, I've even made a quiz to see where your strengths are. Take it, the link in the bio, or DM me at Kaitlin Fritz on Instagram, quiz, and it will arrive in your messages. There are so many strengths you have that you don't even recognize. Take my quiz, ask your friends and family, what are you really good at? What are those things that you excel at that you don't even recognize? Or even your boss when you go into your next review. Serena only became Serena Williams by entering the court hundreds of thousands of times. In entrepreneurship, it's about entering the court over and over and over again. And each time you will gain the confidence and feel more prepared. The second barrier I see entrepreneurs face is that feeling of being underestimated. You are brave enough, confident, and strong enough to make a dent in this crazy world. But sometimes your friends, families, and colleagues may not see it that way. They might look at it as a fad. Or in my case, I had a few friends call it a project. And let me tell you, my business is not a project. I felt like I was being looked down upon, and people were just waiting for me to quote unquote return to a real job, to the real world. But use that underestimation as motivation. Let it light a fire in you to build and grow your best business. There's always going to be a better entrepreneur, a more advanced founder, and a unicorn doing something in your industry. Don't let comparisonitis stop you. And definitely don't let anyone underestimating you halt you from growing and developing your business idea. And last but not least, the third barrier I see people face is uncertainty. We are kind of programmed for checklists and processes and things that make sense. You can't help it. We're logical creatures. And I'm here to tell you that in entrepreneurship, uncertainty is your only certainty. Things change, industries develop, innovations happen every other day. As an entrepreneur, you need to recognize what you can control and then research and stay up to date on what you can't. I'm here to tell you, give yourself a little grace. You know what is in your wheelhouse and all the variables that as a business owner you can oversee. And guess what? There's still going to be roller coasters, hiccups, and hurdles along the way. That's why I say entrepreneurship is a problem-solving process, not a plan. Because this will be a zigzaggy adventure, but I'm telling you it's worth it. Now, I know I've probably said the word entrepreneurship 100 times in this episode, and I'm sorry, I can't help it. But in this podcast, we are going to walk side by side through this journey together. We're going to talk about these mindset shifts that need to happen for you to be the business owner I know you can be. We're also going to open up some tried and true lessons and tips Really practical lessons you can implement in your business today. I'm all about bang for your buck when it comes to education. And last but not least, we're going to be talking about some really incredible founders who have started where you are, no matter where you are in the journey. These are individuals who have started and scaled their social impact venture, and I really want you to take away some of their key learnings. So that's the end of this episode. If you haven't already, subscribe to the special email newsletter called the Changemaker Circle, where we discuss all the ins and outs of developing and building a social impact venture. I hope this helps you demystify some of the common barriers to entrepreneurship and reframe the way you think about entrepreneurs. So whether you're a side hustler, business owner, or social entrepreneur, I look forward to having you join me in the next episode of Everyday Entrepreneurship. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Everyday Entrepreneurship. To stay tuned and most up to date, subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. You can follow me, Kaitlin Fritz, on Instagram. And if you have any questions about building your business with impact, drop me an email with the link in the show notes. This podcast is produced by the great people at the Podcast Boutique. I look forward to catching up with you next week. See you then.